Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Nick Drinks. I'm your host, Nick Britsky, and we are joined by Robin Cleveland, who is the co-founder of Norden Aquavit. Hello.
Nick Drinks.
Good to be here.
Yes, thank you. So something we were talking about is why is there an aquavit company in Michigan?
Well, mostly because we're in Michigan.
There you go.
And we love aquavit, so.
Now you have your wife has a family history with aquavit, correct?
So her family history isn't that strong, but she is Swedish.
Okay.
So there is a tradition of aquavit in Sweden and all over Scandinavian countries. So.
Okay.
But she was born in Iowa and grew up in Michigan.
Well, fair enough. It's
Pretty far removed.
She wasn't fresh off the boat and had bottles of aquavit in her hand.
That's correct.
So, all right, let's kind of back up a little bit. What is aquavit? What makes it different from maybe a gin or a vodka?
So it's aquavit is a traditional Scandinavian spirit. Okay. It's been made in Nordic countries for over 500 years. It is a botanical spirit, so it's very similar to gin, okay. But the main flavor has to come from caraway instead of juniper.
All right.
Yeah. So that's the main definition. In the EU, you can also flavor it with dill. Okay. So it's caraway or dill as the main botanical. Here in the US, we just have sort of a blanket definition of a caraway flavored spirit.
And is that something that federal government says to be aquavit, this is it? Or is that more of just kind of to be an aquavit, that's what you need to have?
So it's a TTB definition.
It is TTB, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
But it's very loose. There's no production standards or anything. The European Union standard is a little bit more strict, and that's actually what we follow.
Okay. So I feel like generically there aren't a ton of aquavit companies. For some reason, Michigan is becoming a little hotbed of aquavit.
Yeah, we've got two now.
We've got two. So do you see like, is it becoming more popular? Or is there certain pockets maybe?
Yeah, I think in the cocktail scene, it's definitely becoming more understood and appreciated as a cocktail ingredient. Okay. The tradition, though, of aquavit in the context of history in Scandinavia is still not quite caught on, and that would be to drink it straight and chilled as a neat spirit to accompany food. That's really the tradition over there, but we haven't quite caught on with that yet.
And when you say kind of neat enjoyed with food, that reminds me of vodka in Russia.
Yes.
Same concept.
Yeah, or tequila in Mexico, absolutely. Mezcal.
Yep.
All those spirits have that history of being at the table.
So you're recommending to drink, well, at least historically, you're recommending to drink this neat. If that might be too much for someone, how would you tiptoe them into this product?
I would say a simple cocktail like a aquavit and tonic is a really nice introduction, or something like a gimlet. Switching it out for gin in any classic recipe is a really good gateway to understanding what the flavor profile is. But drinking it chilled, I mean, we're at 45% alcohol, but it's very smooth. You wouldn't know it by the first sip. So.
And you have some good news to share with everyone that just recently happened, right?
Yes, some wild news. We entered the San Francisco World Spirits Competition.
Wow.
Just got announced about a week and a half ago, actually, that we won double gold.
That's congratulations, yeah.
So best in category, double gold is a unanimous gold from every judge on the panel. So
and
no small feat. Absolutely,
no. It's congratulations on that. If you look at how many categories there's maybe 20 or so categories ish.
I don't know the exact amount. I know that there's various categories of unaged spirits, and then we go into the aged spirits like rum, whiskey, etc. For the unaged, I think there's a tequila, an unaged rum, there's vodka, there's gin. Baijiu is in there as well.
So we got some Baijiu back there.
Yeah, cool.
The reason why I bring that up is because not only did you win, but also Traverse City Bourbon also won, Traverse City Whiskey.
Yeah, so they won for their cask strength release, which is really great for the state of Michigan. We've got a pretty strong distilling culture here, and it's only growing. So
that's great.
Fun.
So was it purely just kind of the light connection to your history to start this, or was there something else kind of bubbling where you thought aquavit was where to go?
So I bartended for 14 years. I should go a little further back. I first tried aquavit for the very first time in Denmark about 16 years ago. And when it was given to me then, it was almost sort of like a hazing ritual. Because I spent 3 weeks there. I had a pretty good core group of friends, and the Danish guys thought it would be fun to give me aquavit because they have this association with it, drinking it at family holidays and stuff. So it's usually the first spirit that anybody ever got a little too sloshed on. So they thought it'd be fun to give me Aquavit, and I ended up loving it. Fast forward, 7 years later, I'm bartending, trying to find fun, interesting ingredients to work with that are a little outside of the box, and I sort of rediscovered Aquavit and started working with it. So from there, my wife and I wanted to actually open a Scandinavian-themed bar. And through a lot of research, realized that there were not that many Aquavits available in Michigan, so she said to me one day that I should just make my own, and here we are.
Well, if you look
2
at
years
that,
later,
this would be kind of a great first step. Not saying you can in the future, but if you don't have the product, hey, you start with the product, and then maybe the bar comes later.
yeah, tasting room, full distillery.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's give this a try. So we are drinking this warm, and you would recommend drinking it chilled?
So the tradition is to drink it right out of the freezer. We think that's a little too far. I would say a nice chill is a good way to go. The problem when you chill anything down too far, you start to lose some of the flavors. Right. Think of like a rich lager, like served in England. They always serve their beer warm. Yep. We don't recommend warm or even room temperature, but a light chill. Okay. Just kind of taste it as we do when we make it. You'll get a lot more of the subtleties in the aroma, especially.
Now, if you don't have it chilled, would an ice cube ruin it?
Ice cube doesn't ruin anything at all. We're at 45 ABV, so
you'll be fine for a little dilution.
Yeah, totally fine.
Cheers.
Cheers. Give that a good smell. You get
right off the butt.
All the citrus notes.
Yep.
So there's clementine orange, a little coriander, and then we have Michigan staghorn sumac. That's a wild botanical, which has kind of a pear note and also a nice orange note as well. So everything all kind of works together.
Now
in harmony.
We've been tasting a lot of scotches for Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And I've been noticing a lot more of the savory notes coming from scotch, especially as I taste them next to each other. I get a ton of savory notes off of this.
Yes. That's going to be the caraway mostly.
100%.
A little bit of dill in the recipe as well. The dill provides a nice natural sweetness, but you do pick that up on the nose. So nice savory notes, especially in cocktails with lime or lemon. Any citrus really brings out those kind of savory notes. Think like a margarita kind of savory.
Yeah. Or even a Bloody Mary. That's kind of where my mind's going too.
Great in a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a roller coaster. That's great.
Lots of flavor, right?
Lots of flavor. There is a little bit of viscosity. Tiny burn, not much, especially for 45. I mean,
on that second sip, it's even easier.
You're kind of priming your palate too, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, is that great? Yeah, so now the green flavors, the herbs, the dill, all that starts coming out. Now the citrus.
Yep, some light floral undertones.
Yes.
We've got some orris root in there, clary sage. On our bottle it just says sage, but it's clary sage, just in case anybody's wondering at home.
All right, so second sip. And this was a recommendation that we actually got, I believe, from Dave Martinez. If you kind of get that second sip, that actually does you open up, you test your palate out.
Yep.
But then you get more flavors the second time.
Let the initial shock of the alcohol wear off.
Oh yeah.
Hardly any burn at all, right?
Right. Boy, the dill and the caraway are very specific right there. Yep. Citrus, herbs, fun.
A little bit of anise on the very back end. That's mostly just to kind of smooth out the finish and really let all the herbs kind of last on your palate.
It's a long finish. It's a really long finish.
It is. Yeah, this is a traditional sipping spirit, so we wanted to pay homage to the tradition of it, and still have this really versatile cocktail ingredient. So it works in a lot of ways.
That's great. So Metro Detroit has had a good exposure to this. You are starting to branch out into the rest of the U.S.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a decent national following. Where will people find you next?
The next release will be Illinois. Okay. We're going to be focusing mainly on the Chicago area. We've got a distribution deal out there. Okay. And then New York will be soon to follow. So look for us in New York in July 2019. And then you're talking about branching out some other spaces. Are those still TBD? TBD. California is probably in the works. But just got to find the right partners with distribution that really want to share our vision and our passion. So. Okay. Is there like a stronghold of Aquavit anywhere, like somewhere in the Midwest? Minnesota.
So just,
It's got a
okay,
pretty
yeah.
strong Aquavit following, and I'd say the Pacific Northwest too. So
Okay.
neither of those are off the table. We'd like to be everywhere, but we're small and we're brand new, so we're taking it one step at a time.
You can be friendly. So if people want to learn more about you, how do they do that?
Our Instagram at Norden Aquavit, or by visiting our website, which will be updated very soon, NordenAquavit.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And people want to learn more about you?
Facebook.
Okay.
Stalk me.
Perfect. Well, Robin, thank you so much.
Cheers.
If you'd like more of these videos, you can find me on youtube.com/nickdrinks. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at nickdrinks.com. And that is about it. There's also a website too, nickdrinks.com as well. Thanks so much, Robin. Cheers.
Cheers.
Till next time, everyone.